welcome back, everybody, to the Derby City Fandom podcast. Today, it is a great day, I hope, for everybody. It is Star Wars season once again. Today, we're going to be talking about the Acolyte. As of June 4th, the first 2 episodes have released, and we got some stuff to talk about. Jake, Colin, how have you gentlemen been doing?
Good, Kenny. How you been, buddy?
Hanging in there.
Not too bad.
All right. So I was talking to Colin prior to the recording. And I'm going to let you think on this question, Jake, because it is going to come up later. Do you think that the Acolyte's first 2 episodes have intrigued you enough to continue watching it? And we can
comparatively speaking
to
like the Andor series or the Ahsoka series.
I got a lot to say about this. So
Yes.
we can talk about it now or we can talk about it later. I'm more curious on, because I have been looking at the ratings, so I have no idea what the scores are. I don't know if you're ready, Colin. If you know the rank, I would love to start there because I've been waiting all week just for Colin to announce if it's good, bad, what other people think. I know what my opinion is. It's kind of a mixed bag, but
I have mine as well.
Well, I've read the reviews and it's definitely I'm getting a lot of mixed signals from the interwebs. But the ratings, however, according to IMDb, is a freaking 4.3 out of 10.
Yeah.
I believe it. Maybe a little low.
I think that's a little low. It is just the first 2 episodes.
With Rotten Tomatoes, we have a whopping 90%.
Whoa.
Okay.
Is that the users or is that the...
Yeah, that's people watching the series. IMDb is more the critic side.
90%?
90%.
Eh.
What do you all think about those?
Too low, too high?
I think, honestly, like, I can bring up, like, the spread. A lot of people are going out of their way to rate this with a 1 star out of 10. And I don't know if they're just trying to review bomb the thing into oblivion or not. But I think the more average consensus would be that it's probably, like, your 60%, your 65.
See, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I'd probably get maybe a 6.6, 6.8 as of right now with the first 2 episodes that have come out. Now, I'm hoping that goes up as the season progresses because that's kind of where I fell into with the Ahsoka series, the Andor series. You know, it started out with, like, intriguing enough, but, like, not like, whoa, that's freaking wild, you know? But we'll see.
I wouldn't use the term intrigued. Like, I'm not intrigued by this.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Star Wars. Like, I really love Star Wars, and I love being immersed in that realm. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for that. But I don't think I would call myself intrigued. Like, I'm not excited, or excited is not the right word. Like I said, I'm excited to see the realm. I'm not like, oh, can't wait to, like, what's coming next. Like, I'm not in, I don't know what the right word is. Like, I'm not waiting for the next exciting plot to happen.
Yeah, which is interesting. The way that they've done some of the story beats already, just how I would have done it, my, like, you know, couch directing, I suppose we'll call it that. Like, there are some choices that I think I would have made differently, but we can go into that when we go into the actual, like, episode by episode, like, vague plot description. Now, in terms of intrigue, I don't think this quite has it yet. It tries to set up, like, this whodunit in the first episode, but then they immediately kind of, like, solve it in the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, huh.
See,
So what was the point?
See, I wasn't even intrigued by that. Like, it was never a question for me. Like, oh, who is this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I immediately thought, okay, is there a twin or something? Or some type of, like, droid taking place?
Yeah.
So, like, I immediately called it. I was like, I don't know if this is bad writing or if they're just trying to get the characters known so they can build onto something else. So, it is early. We'll see what's the rest of the season brings. But
Yes. But I think that this particular world, as it stands right now in these 2 episodes, was not anywhere near as gripping as Andor was. And Ahsoka, you had, Ahsoka and Sabine being the 2 main characters that everybody already knew. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of carried the intrigue with them, even though nothing had been set up yet.
See, you run into the same problem I do, Kenny. So, like, I'm comparing all the other Star Wars series. I'd be curious your thoughts on this too, Colin, to Andor. Like, Andor was phenomenal. It was really good. Mm-hmm. And so far, this is nowhere near Andor.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near it.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to step in. Y'all have to keep in mind this is
brand new.
This is 100 years before the Phantom Menace, essentially. So there is no rebellion. There is no empire. There is no whatever.
There's not even a Sith technically
It's the Galactic Republic. It's literally like for centuries there's been like no war whatsoever. I don't know if y'all remember in the beginning of the first episode. Like I even have it written out right here. It's 100 years before the rise of the Empire. It's a time of peace. The Jedi Order and Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war, but in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge. Which then we come to the planet, Ueda or whatever it's called. We're not with the Republic or anything. This is a brand new cast,
but that
timeline and everything.
That doesn't justify making something meh. Like Andor is sexy. It's visually nice to watch, in my opinion. Well, like I get it, they were piggybacking off the plot wise, so maybe the writing was a little bit easier with Andor. Like I get that, but to me, watching Andor is like it's a beautiful film.
Right.
And I watch this, and I get the concept what they're going with. Film. Sorry, series. I get what they're going with. It's like, yeah, okay. So they're trying to make things look a little more outdated and all that. But I'm like, come on, man. I don't know. It doesn't fly with me. The whole, this is supposed to be 100 years before. Like, I get that, but I don't know.
So I think on some level, like, yes, the 2 are going to get compared to each other, but it's apples and oranges. Like, one is like kind of like I can sum up like those first couple of episodes of Andor as those are grimy noir kind of stuff, and this is like kind of your more traditional Star Wars that we see in like the Acolyte.
Yeah, I could see that. I do have a question for you all. Do you all notice like the cuts? Maybe cut's not the right word. Like the scene transitions, they have like a very cartoonish kind of like where they transition to a new scene. You know what I'm talking about? Like to me, it just doesn't flow right. So I don't know if they're trying to make it more like a cartoonish TV
series. Are you saying you're not seeing the traditional Star Wars transition of the PowerPoint fade away kind of thing? Are you not
like
seeing
the side swipe that they do?
Yeah, or the freaking blue, blue, blue. You're not seeing that?
I don't know how to explain it. I think that's what I am seeing. So maybe is that the traditional way that they've always
Star
done
Wars
it?
way is the PowerPoint kind of thing where it just like goes down like that or something.
I think that's what I'm referring to. And maybe I'm just so used to like maybe Marvel projects now that I'm not used to the you said it really, really well, Colin, like the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Like I'm not used to that, so I'm still not.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a fan of that either.
They have a couple of good transitions just from, like, in the first episode, like, you get, like, the logo for the series, and then you see Osha, like, flip, like, up and awake. In line with the logo. So that was some good cinematography.
Or whatever. Yeah.
But that's an interesting thing to bring up, Colin, actually, like the use of like the connected dream sequences.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping that was kind of like where they were going, because when we get like that first big dream sequence that takes up like a good 10 minutes of
The beginning
of that second episode, where where Osha meets May, or has like a vision of May in her dreams.
Yeah.
And then you see her like wake up and her eyes go like solid black.
Yeah.
I thought this whole thing was going to be like, oh, there's like some like multiple personalities. There's like some like weird force possession kind of thing going on. No, it's just
A twin sister.
Twin sisters. Which is okay, but
Yeah,
it
so
would have been more
that's
fun.
kind of where I was at.
Boring.
In the very beginning was you see her little mask thing comes down, and Carrie Ann Moss. We'll get into that here in a second. She, like she does all that, kills Carrie Ann Moss, and then she wakes up, and she's a mech tech or whatever.
Mech.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I'm thinking, okay, so this same girl is now working on a ship, so she's kind of playing this dual role of like poor or whatever, but she's also maybe working for this supposed Sith person or bad guy villain type deal.
Ends up being a Trade Federation ship.
Right, Trade Federation ship, so that's kind of a throwback to the Phantom Menace, really.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was kind of thinking like a split personality kind of thing where maybe she's using the light side of the Force, but then something happens where she's going to the dark side. But long story short, it ends up being a twin, so that was kind of lame in my opinion. But also the other thing that I'm not really into is this whole like murder mystery, like Law and Order CSI kind of thing.
Yeah, they really make the Jedi, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, like this so far has made the Jedi look like they're in the galaxy police or something.
Well, they are, but the thing is that the reason why the Empire got off as easily as it did is because a lot of people don't care for the Jedi. They think they're overbearing. They don't like the way that they do their policies. They're too slow to act on some things, and then they don't act at all on other things where they need to. So there's some built-up resentment for that. Also, the Force is kind of, a very violating thing. At least how the Jedi tend to use it, because, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Like, you're messing with somebody's mind. Not the most pleasant experience.
Yeah, when Yord uses the Force on the Federation dude, I was just like, whoa, okay. We're just kind of using that just for shits and gigs now. And then the one master when they're in the Jedi Temple, like that scene where the Padawans are and what's his face is talking to him, and then you see her. It starts with a V, Venestra or something.
Venestra or something like
whatever her name is. Anyway, so basically, she uses the Force to open the door. Did y'all notice that?
No, I didn't see that
scene. So when
you talking about when the Jedi's floating in a little bubble?
No, I'm talking about where the Padawans are listening to Master Soul talk.
Okay, yeah.
And that's when the green lady walks in, but she uses the Force to open the door.
Yeah, for Nestra.
Yeah. But also, transitioning back to the very beginning of that episode when Carrie Ann Moss and Osha are fighting. No, May.
We don't know.
We don't know that yet. Anyway, so she kind of like holds her in place with the Force because she has the knife, and you see her hair kind of fade away. You see those rings on her forehead. You all notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some Acolyte shit right there, buddy.
Yep.
So I hope we get more detail on what that's all about.
Yep.
More moss. You want more? You want more moss? Spoiler alert.
I believe she's also wearing the Jal Shay armor set. That is, you see that more often in like the video games, but it's a particular armor set for Jedis that focus on studying the Force through intelligence as opposed to faith.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So there's some interesting callbacks there that, okay, it's not blind faith. These people are thinking about how to use the Force. Also, this fun idea that this master person, rather early on, tells May / the Acolyte that you can't kill Jedi through traditional means. Weapons don't work. So you have to kill them without using weapons. That being said, I'm pretty sure that she kills she kills at least Carrie Ann Moss's character with, knives.
Yes,
With throwing
with knives.
knives. So I think that counts as a weapon.
Poison.
The other dude is poison.
Yes, but she doesn't technically kill that one. He kills himself. That's the only intrigue in this entire series so far.
Yeah,
is what actually happened.
I agree with you there, Kenny. Like, I'm intrigued with who the antagonist is going to be.
Yes.
I'm intrigued with who's pulling the strings so far. I will give them that much.
But if they blow that too early, then good lord, it's like
Think they will?
they've already gave away that it's not OSHA, that there's May and OSHA. So they could have waited. They could have waited.
I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful maybe that they're rushing through some things just so they can okay, let's rush through these, set the characters so we can actually bring in this badass antagonist.
Sure.
Never know. Maybe. Be cool.
Yeah. We see the antagonist have the fun voice modulator on.
Yep.
Has the red lightsaber, so, red lightsaber clearly means he's a Sith. Maybe. But in the early episodes, we also see that May has this weird focus of trying to grab the lightsaber off of these people in mid-combat.
Yep.
But then never actually takes the lightsabers off of them when they die.
Mm-hmm.
So that's odd. I'm not sure if that's necessarily intriguing, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, I wonder if that's since a Jedi can't kill somebody unless they have a weapon or something. I don't know, whatever the reason for that is. But I wonder if there's some kind of thing that she's being taught. If you disarm a Jedi in some sort of way, then you, I guess, won that air quotes duel per se.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you. It's intriguing. I wonder what it's all about too. Or maybe she's trying to get her own lightsaber, and
Yeah.
but why not just build your own lightsaber, go get your own kyber crystal and that kind of shit. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Interesting. But we're introduced to just a cast that I don't particularly care for yet. Osha's character is okay at best. May's character is also only okay at best because they're played by the same actress.
Yep.
Because they're twins, that's just the easiest thing to do. But it's Master Soul doesn't interest me at all. Vernestra doesn't really interest me.
She kind of annoys me, really.
Yeah.
She has this uptight demeanor, she walks into room and I guess they're trying to give this vibe that maybe when she walks into the room she commands the room per se, but I'm kind of getting a stuck up bitch, you have this
she's
resting
a council
bitch
member.
Face.
She might be a council member, but it's they haven't addressed
Even
it in
if
the
so,
series
she
yet.
still has a resting bitch face, and I don't really care for the character at all. If that character died, I could not care less.
They haven't set
Master
anything up
Soul,
for her.
I have a mild investment in that character because he seems like an all right dude.
Yeah, he knows what happened. Well,
everybody knows what happened.
Everybody that is
we
being
do not
targeted
as
knows what's happened, and Master Soul is the only one that has acknowledged that yes, I've kind of done the odd thing and, made like an older child and an older kid and started training them in the ways of the Jedi, which you usually don't do because that's how you get people like Anakin.
Interesting.
I mean, it was a tall task, right? So there was a big push for Star Wars to get away from the old guard,
Yeah.
and this is their attempt at that. So I mean, I give them it was a high bar for them to bring in new characters, new to me at least. I don't know if can you correct me if these are from games or lore or books or whatever, but new to me. And I mean, I give them the benefit of the doubt because it was a high bar that they're trying to get away from the old guard. But yeah, it kind of fell flat for me too.
Yeah.
And I'd admit, like, I love seeing the droid, like the one main droid that you can tell that they're gonna try to sell the crap out of, like stuffed animal.
That's clearly a toy.
Yeah.
So like, and Pip doesn't do it for me either. Like, I'm not bashing Pip, nothing against Pip, but it's like, I don't know, is he R2D2?
No, he's like your utility belt pocket tool. Like that is like his design.
Pretty basically.
Mm-hmm. But it's just like, so far we just don't have that much really to go off of, right? Like there's some master, there's something happened 16 years ago when the village burned down, when May supposedly started the fire.
Right. So
killing everybody.
That's what I'm more, since we keep saying this word, intrigued about is, okay, we have no idea what planet they are from, why the fire was caused. They mentioned that she had lost her mother's, plural, and sister, and a bunch of other villagers. So I'm thinking, like, mothers. Is this like the Night Sisters? Like,
That's what I thought.
Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't think they're probably around, but they're not really quite relevant at this point. So that's where I'm kind of like, why does she have plural mothers and only one sister? Where's the father? Was he a Jedi?
Do you want to know, Colin?
Well,
I have all
that tends
kinds
to be where these sorts of
talking
stories,
culture
like,
wars
is
here,
this
aren't
like some midi-chlorian shit? Like, she just freaking, like, her mom was pregnant, or like just out of the blue, kind of like how Anakin was with Shmi. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened back then was enough to guilt trip one of the Jedis that were there to kill himself.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite scenes. So if you're talking about I don't remember the Jedi who's floating his little
His
ball.
name was Master
meditating.
Torben.
Master Torben.
Yeah.
That was one of the most parts I was intrigued by. I'm like, I want to know more about this guy.
Yeah. He had established basically a Zen-like state where he could...
I guess you find out he was a Jedi from their home planet, right?
Yeah, he was stationed on the planet in the particular village outpost that May and Osha are from.
Mm-hmm.
Along with Sol, Renestra, and Carrie Ann Moss's character. I forgot.
And Narda. And
Indra.
I have it written down.
Kenny has it pulled up for us.
Yes, but yeah.
And Dara.
Close enough.
Dara.
Can we talk about that? Is it time to talk about that? Is it time to talk about the elephant in the room?
Okay, go ahead.
What's your elephant in the room for this show?
Dara, how they killed Moss off like in the first 5 minutes.
Okay, so I read an article because that honestly grinded my gears too. And so I read an article from the director essentially saying that she basically wrote a lot of TV scripts and she wanted that like kapow cold open essentially.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, this just happened right in the beginning. And so that's what she was going for because she's so used to doing cold opens for TV shows that she decided to do the same thing with this series. And essentially, Carrie Ann Moss is, I don't know, I feel like you could have gotten a milder actor or actress to play that role. I think Carrie-Anne Moss has earned her right in the spotlight per se.
Yeah.
To stay in a movie or TV series longer than 3 or 4 minutes of TV or screen time, So,
sure. That is a director's choice, more or less. Like back
more
in
or
the
less,
day,
yeah, sure, but
yeah.
I think it was marketing clickbait, man. It kind of pissed me off. And we'll see. Like I said, it's only been 2 episodes. Like, I don't know. She's not dead. I don't know. But
No, she got thoroughly stabbed in the chest.
maybe
it was frustrating.
maybe there's gonna be like a flashback later on in the series where she's gonna have more screen time, and that was just like her intro. But if it literally is, that's the only time we see Carrie-Anne Moss. Like, come on, get somebody.
She's only credited for 1 episode on IMDb.
Okay, that's bullshit. That's bullshit, because how much money do you think it would have had to take for Carrie-Anne Moss to?
Maybe they couldn't afford her. I don't know.
Has she
Disney.
become that so not even relevant anymore ever since The Matrix?
Well,
But I feel like The Matrix is more relevant now because the new one that came out a couple of years ago.
I
and
think she could have carried this whole series.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, if you're going to bring her on, and I think a lot of fans were excited to see her, that's like, she could have reprised some role of, I mean, she could have been carrying the whole series. But
right.
instead, we're stuck with a bunch, to your point, Kenny, we're stuck with a bunch of characters where we're like, I mean, like, I don't hate them, but I'm like, what?
Well, at that point, are you attached to the actor or more of the character the actor is portraying?
I mean, it comes to the territory, though, right?
Yeah, but Star Wars has always been about using relatively unknown actors and going from there. And then, because of how popular Star Wars ends up becoming, that's where all of these actors get like their huge bonus or their huge break, with a couple of notable exceptions.
Go on.
But it's just like, no. A couple of these characters have had smaller roles here and there, right?
I mean, Master Soul, his whole thing is he's a huge movie star, and I say huge, but like he's well known in South Korea. I think he's where he's from.
Yep.
So this is like his kind of big break in American television.
Ah, he's from Squid Game.
Yes,
Okay.
he's from Squid Game.
Yeah.
That was his big, I guess,
breakthrough
entry for us over here.
I don't know, Squid Game compared to Star Wars.
Currently rated better.
Squid Game was good.
Well, actually, I don't even know if that's fair to say, because 40% and 90% are freaking bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no level playing field there. But moving on. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting, to say the least. Like, we don't have much to go off of because, as Jake has said, kind of beating the dead horse here. It is, brand new. So we gotta try to learn to like these characters, but they haven't done a good job.
Let me throw this back at you, Kenny. Like, if they weren't piggybacking off Star Wars as a whole, like, do you think if this is just a brand new sci-fi show, do you think it would stand on its own legs?
I think I would have more intrigue about it because I then would know that it's not Star Wars based.
Fair enough.
Then again, that didn't work out for like Rebel Moon, like, brand new sci-fi kind of intrigue. That one kind of fell apart as we've gone over before. This one, it does kind of carry the unfortunate weight and expectation of the franchise that is stapled to it, which is Star Wars, Colin, the Acolyte.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the one thing I walked away with after the first 2 episodes. Like, the one thing I walked away with was, hey, it's Star Wars. It's like, it's fun to see.
It feels like
I'm
a
going to watch
prequel.
it, take my money, but
Yeah.
does it mean it's good? No, probably not.
My hot take right now, I'm going to call it 20 years from now, somebody can come back and listen to this. I think this is going to get the same sort of like cult appreciation that like the prequels ended up getting after a very long time where sure, these films are okay.
No
They're
way.
just bad at the moment.
You can't say that. I mean, I see what you're saying, but so basically what you're saying right now to me is, or to us, is that when The Phantom Menace, Attack of Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, when those movies came out, everybody was like, it's okay. And then some time passes, and not even time passes, they were just freaking hating on Hayden Christensen and giving him so much grief about the show or the movies. And then time passes year after year, and then they start saying like, well, actually, now that we think about it, he did a really good job at the time. And now on the interwebs, everybody is like, Hayden Christensen, yes, he's back in the Ahsoka series, and he's going to be back for season 2, and blah, blah, blah. And so what you're saying is right now we're hating on this series, but as time passes, say 40 years from now, like you said, everybody's going to be like, yes, Master Soul, he was the one. Freaking, you know what? Carrie Ann Moss, she was the... Yeah.
No way. I think 20 years from now they're gonna be watching the original trilogy still.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
You're not wrong there.
I'm gonna be freaking 70 years old. I'm still gonna think the freaking original trilogy is the shit.
I mean, I give them credit. Like I said before, it's a high bar.
God, what am I gonna be watching it on? Am I gonna have VHS or DVD still?
Oh, there you go. Be a way to do it.
Man, people are gonna be like, "What is that box-looking thing?" It's like, this is actually what it originally played on.
Yes, and then you... Like,
now you're able to watch it on your fucking arm while you're on a plane. Or however technically far along we are at that point. I don't know where we're going to be. Oh, boy. Freaking flying
right now, I think the critics are a little bit heavy-handed on it because, 40% to 90% is quite a large margin.
Yeah, there's... I lean more toward 40. I mean, 40 seems really low, but I lean more toward that way than 90. It's definitely not a 90.
No,
I wouldn't say 90. I wouldn't say 70. It's more than 50 for me. I would say in the 60 range. Look, we're back in the Star Wars universe. We're being introduced to new planets, new species, that whole thing, new Jedi, new Sith.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my question. So, any theories on who the Sith villain, however you want to call it, do you all have any theories on who it could be?
I don't. I'll leave it to Kenny to kind of... I have no idea.
It might be just like some guy that's like mostly droid, like how Grievous was.
Interesting.
There was some... I heard some rumblings that... Is there any chance Yoda might be in this?
No.
He is technically alive. He is like 800 some odd years old when the Phantom Menace starts.
Yes.
So, yes, he is around, but does he show up?
Probably not.
I don't think
very
he's
unlikely, but I don't know how well they're trying to keep things under wraps.
Yes.
At the moment.
It is episodic, so.
So there is the theory that Keanu Reeves might be in this, but I've also seen articles debunking that theory, so.
Yeah.
I mean, Carrie Ann Moss was in it. Why not Keanu Reeves? Bring back the Matrix. Woo, that'd be kind of cool.
Bring back, kill them all.
Yeah, the Matrix. I mean, that's multi-universe kind of thing. Anyway, so my kind of theory is, this villain. I'm thinking, I'm probably dead wrong, and that's okay. That's the whole point of this podcast. So Darth Plagueis was obviously Sidious's master, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that it's actually Plagueis's master since it's 100 years. I think that's maybe some time.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't really know who that would be. I'm probably wrong. watch it be Keanu Reeves. That'd be kind of cool. But Darth Plagueis was obviously a part of the banking clan. Just FYI for all those nerds out there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But if y'all have any theories, leave it in the comments. Let us know who you think it could be.
Well, I think that has more or less summed up what we think and how we view the first couple episodes. We'll do probably like a mid-season review, or for sure we'll do like a full season wrap-up overview.
Oh, absolutely.
When it's complete here.
I hope I'm blown away.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm excited. Just talking about future for the podcast. We'll be talking more about this episode. Then we got House of Dragon coming out here soon too. So
Yeah.
Sunday.
a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
To date us is literally a few days away. Season 2. But anyway, that's not part of the podcast.
But
anyway.
you know what is part of the podcast? Where people can find us.
Oh, nice, Kenny. See what you did there.
Jake, where can people find us?
I don't know. Mailboxes down the street.
You're literally the worst.
Colin's creeping in your bedroom.
Oh, God.
No, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We are on Spotify. We are on all the podcast streaming services.
Yep.
That is where you can find us. Subscribe, follow, comment, like. If you have any suggestions for episodes that we should do or ones that we've really bombed and we should never cover again, just let us know. We enjoy the criticism and the fun.
We are on that 100 subscriber creep. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, folks. And we shall see you all next time.
See you, everybody.
Deuces.